Just say you shake man like you don't know me. I should have an intro. That's the intro I put together too. I have my children talking about. Good afternoon, and welcome to Changing the Mindset right here on Garden Radio 96.9 FM. We do apologize about the lateness on air this afternoon. There was a big tsunami on the road that kept us from coming in, or it was the eclipse. I don't know which story you're going with today,
Hey, good afternoon, Mohammed. This is your boy K. Alexander. I'm going to say the truth, right? What had happened was a black cat had crossed up our path and we decided to take the long way to the studio. So anyway, we didn't want to get into that traffic accident we saw on the road.
And then it was a blackbird.
Yeah, and then it was a blackbird. You don't want no crow, like, doing the goofy on your hood. Just like go through the road.
And then it was a black road.
Yeah, well, he's talking too much black, right? So y'all know how we do. And I'm excited to have so many guests in the studio today.
Yeah, man. And we got to continue the conversation we've been having so far for the month, talking about culture and how to actually make it financial. And this seems to be a big topic. I've heard one or two other shows been people are talking about, the entertainment industry in the Bahamas. I think I'm going to have to start doing it because it doesn't work when you write it on a piece of paper at home and you don't invest. Nobody believes you at that point. But, we have to look at the entertainment industry in the Bahamas and the culture, how to take culture, entertainment, music, and artists and everything, and develop it in such a way that one, first of all, we can use the different talents that we have been actually given that help express what is the Bahamas from the people, and also to make it into something that we can actually make a living off. I mean, honestly and truly, I'm not knocking on previous companies. Whether it's this one, that one, the other one, the one, whatever color they want to choose to be doing, whatever point of time doing. But the fact that the Bahamas is one of the few countries in the world whose entertainment industry in some way is stuck, not for the fact that we don't have the talent, but simply for the fact that those who've been in leadership, I consider in probably the last 30 or 40 years, have not had the vision to truly incorporate the entertainment aspects of our culture in the Bahamas to make the country more better. We were blessed to have the Honorable Mr. James Chapman as the Honorable Anderson, but they don't get pronounced for him. Yeah, actually I scream about look it up on Facebook. The fact that he was talking about how in his 30 years in South Jersey and the they used to take different aspects of entertainment inside the country when they were traveling to other places to show off, basically show off what the Bahamas is about. Whether it was the Royal Bahamas Blues Boys, whether it was jumping in the Red Bulls, fire dances, to let persons see this is what the country is about, this is when you come to the Bahamas what you're going to get a taste of. And I think in the recent years, one of the things that we have lost as a country, although a lot of times we always argue about the identity of what it is to be singing, what is the gaming music and all of this, but the reality is everything in culture evolves. And I said before, what would have been 40 years, 50 years, 60 years ago a part of our culture is still a part of our culture. But the face it may have today may not be the face it had
as a whole, collectively as a whole, we began back in 07. Yeah, 07 we first formed a group called New Breed. And in a matter of 6 months we were getting shows like mad. Like honestly we couldn't keep up with our schedule. Like real talk. And over time we evolved, and that's when Rage Production came, because like you said, everything evolved, people evolved. And as we get older, we evolve to more the business side of doing things, so that's where the whole new age came about, the new age production.
Now, I'm just going to ask a question, because I know somebody listening is probably going to be into the same thing. How do you feel about incorporating things like Ravensburg, Junkanoo, Soca, and Calypso into the music that you actually do?
Me personally, I feel very privileged to incorporate them in our music, because at the end of the day, hey, you can't know what you're doing unless you know where you come from, So at the end of the day, why would you want to stray away from your roots? And let's be real, tourism being one of our main industry, that shows we got something to offer because the tourists coming up, So I feel very privileged to incorporate it,
And just to throw something else up there, I feel like anything from a Bahamian in general is Bahamian music. if I put up, you know, people always like to think that it's just straight. Like, come on, I'm a Bahamian, so it is Bahamian music.
You know, I had the actual opportunity to actually have that same discussion between KB and actually Sammy Star and actually show up on point in time. And it was such an interesting discussion because on one end, you know, Sammy was saying he feels the one thing that the Indian produces is the music. And KB actually does different drums. He doesn't just do like a lot of times versus just he do music, he does rock and roll, he does these different parts as well. And from his perspective, he was saying in a lot of ways that sometimes, you know, the Reiki scrape, the junkie, those are things that in a lot of ways cater more towards the old aspect of the human. But like me, myself, being a musician and an artist as well, so when I speak like a piano, like I say, you know, I got that triangle on lockdown. It's, I think, the blending of the different musics and how it moves forward is something that we have to look at, because in a lot of ways we're still having a lot of generational gap arguments between two different generations, and now we have a third generation then, because we have the baby boomers, we have basically Generation X, and we have the millennials, all basically existing together in that one pool and all looking at different aspects of music. But as a living, breathing organism, I will say it again and again, culture is something that has to evolve, and it has to evolve looking at how do you take that good old sound, because Ain't Nothing to Me was more enjoyable than Joy Flash. They have an awesome Reiki Straight band for a primary school. These guys are world class. I think they went to New York, I think it was, in a competition, and they did third. And this is out of huge different bands and different things as they represented the Bahamas. And that just talks about the quality of music that we do at such a young age, and that's just that aspect of it. Then when you take a lot of the new age music and you blend it, how do we generate that love for it? And I won't lie, you know, I agree in some ways that when you come to the Bahamas, we should be hearing Bahamian music. If you want to hear reggae or you want to hear hip hop and different things, that's fine. But when you come to our place, whether it's our Bahamian Reiki Straight, soca, calypso, whether it's Bahamian R&B artists, rappers, lyrics, I think we need to start looking at how do we promote our own, first of all, within, before we start looking at bringing others in. Because when a person comes to the Bahamas as a tourist, first of all, the first thing they want to hear and experience is the culture of the Bahamas. But one of the things we need to start looking at is how do we first enjoy our own before we worry about bringing in tourists. And I think in a lot of ways, because we are so foreign and tourist focused, we have lost what a lot of other countries like Jamaica and those have, whereas basically they support their artists so heartfelt and thoroughly that you can't go to Jamaica talking about you want to play some other type of music, but when you're a tourist and you go there, you get to enjoy the same thing that the locals love and enjoy because it's theirs. So my question before we take our break, this is where you spoke, how do you think the tourism industry will benefit if we really look at developing our entertainment industry, and this is from all aspects, including definitely music?
I think it would benefit greatly. I mean, you're talking about a $1 billion industry for us. I mean, now, as small as our music industry is in the market of the Bahamas, we still have millions of tourists that come here that want to hear culture music, our culture music, which is Reiki Straight, you know, and you know, we starting to go more into the soca too. So I think it would benefit greatly, but firstly, us as Bahamians, we got to change the mindset, which is so fitting us to the show. We got to change the mindset of wanting to support our own first for that to even happen. Because like you said, Jamaica, their citizens, they love their music, they love their brand. Us here, I mean, we would support it. I mean, we particularly support our Sammy Star before we support our, you know, Sosa Man or New Age, you know. So we got to first change that mindset for that to be fitting, because the government only can do so much. I mean, they can't force us to listen to the radio.
All right, we're going to get our first break, and when we come back, we're going to hear a little bit more about your new release, new song coming up right here on Guardian Radio 96.
I just don't want that to line, so don't think that.
Like the pintura, yeah, buenísima.
I have a question.
question. What do y'all think about Bodak Yellow? If y'all listen to it.
What the hell is going on?
No, that's the Cali B.
Cardi B,
Oh,
yeah. Cardi B.
Yeah.
Oh, I know what you mean. Oh, yeah, I know Cardi B. Yeah, that Kodak put you up and Kodak last week.
I feel stupid, right?
Mhm.
But hell, all this time.
Taking the record. Charging.
In all honesty, me personally, I give up.
And welcome back to Changing the Mindset Radio on Guardian Radio 96.9 FM. And of course, you know the numbers to dial into the conversation at 323-6232, 325-4316, and 325-4259. I had a glass this moment, the words of it just jumped over from me just now. And of course, our BTC text line is 422GR96. And today, you know, we're in studio talking about culture and how to make culture financial. Now, I know you guys have a new album actually coming out, so, you know, tell us a little about that and single that you're welcome.
Well, we have a EP coming out called New Age Presents, and it's under New Age Productions, and it pretty much presents us, everything we bring to music in general. You know, sort with the R&B aspect of things, and you know, like Mali to Mali, like you say, it's all around. You know, and with me, we get the straight lyricism all day, every day. So we try to incorporate a little like everything each us brings authentically to the album we got coming out. But the single coming out, we got it called I Wanna Feel You. That right there is something different from being with people, to be honest. I personally am proud of it because it's not what you would expect from the average beginner, you know? We try to incorporate a little R&B, a little hip-hop, and a little everything in that single right there.
How long did it take you guys to put it together?
You say how long you need in the essence of coordination?
Coordination, production.
We did that 3 days.
Yeah.
3 days.
I mean, yeah, because everything, like you say, we are a production company, so everything we do authentically just us, you know? So it took, like you say, a little roughly 3 days because it's New Age, never sleep. We always on the clock. We never sleep. We always on the clock. You gotta be on your hustle to get things done, so we always working, you know? And like they say, I'm proud of the record because like everything is all us, you know, from the script to putting together for the video, because we have the official video releasing on the 26th. 26th. From the even the song, the construction of the song, everything was done by us.
What was the motivation for this? Now, I got a chance to see a little bit of the video, and I just think it's awesome. I think it's impressive. I won't say anything about the young lady in the girls. Because me that beat on there. But what was the motivation for the video?
The motivation for the video, to be honest, is coming from an aspect where we all could relate to, because we all have a situation where, you know, you have a hard day, not to give too much of the thumbnail, but you have a hard day at work, and then you come home after a long, stressful day, and you know, you just throw on a song and just throwing right out there, everything just, you know.
That's like me, bubble bath, popcorn, a little bit of, hey, so 2 months to that, so I got to go.
That's really showing the power of music.
Yeah,
you know,
so
the power
that's
of
basically-
music, yeah.
You hear me? That means just SpongeBob, SquarePants music on that.
No.
One thing.
Okay. Gemma, when is it going to be released? So persons who are listening in know definitely, you know, the Brian's support.
Well, it's officially going to be released on the 26th of August, but all pre-order fans could pick it up on any of your digital sites. You can get it on iTunes, Google Play, Spotify, Amazon, any of your digital sites. You could just go right on your phone and pre-order it. But the official release date is the 26th of August.
What would you guys say to young artists that are looking to get into the music business now? What advice?
My question.
Oh, I apologize. I'm sorry. Replace, repeal. Go ahead.
Hey, so what advice would you don't even call it something? Okay, let me say it in a more intelligible way, right? So what we're talking about is like commodifying the cultural industry, right? What would you give to that new artist, whether he be a drummer, whether she be a singer, whether she be a lyricist, or even sometimes just a host who like to rap, right? What advice would you give them on like managing themselves or finding a manager, or just how would they reasonably price themselves? What advice would you give that person who's looking to get to the level that you guys are at?
Well, I can be real with you. You know, if you want advice, 3 steps. First and foremost, nothing. All things is possible with them, and nothing is possible with them. So you gotta put them on upstairs first. You know, you gotta put God in the mix of anything you're doing. You know. Secondly, if it's something like you say, whether it's being a drummer, whether it's being a pianist, whatever, you gotta put the time and the effort in. You know, anything, regardless of what it is, you need the time and the effort. You know, at the end of the day, Michael Jordan is where he is by just eating chip and sitting down. You know, you gotta put the time and the work in. Yeah, you know, so you gotta have a high work ethic. And lastly, you gotta be passionate about what you're doing. You know, because if you feel like you're forced to do it, it's gonna make sense you're doing it.
And two, to catch you left off, you gotta have a goal. I mean, what is your goal? Just to get on the radio? So you gotta have some goal. What is your goal? What are you trying to get? You trying to make some money from this, or you just trying to just get people to hear your music? So it's all of that you gotta, you know, get started up.
Overall plan, yeah.
Any other questions?
Yeah. For that artist that feels that he or she isn't worth it, because we still live in that society where not we want to admit it. You know, you go to school, you get a job, you become a doctor, lawyer, and accountant, right? Or maybe an engineer. That's kind of acceptable. And so like we have Bahamas Fashion coming up, right? And that's like one of those things that say, listen, there is a job in the creative industry. We have all kind of open mic nights coming up. We think that we can do this music creativity. It's acceptable. So what would you say to that artist, he or she, whether it be in high school, whether they be in high school in their head, you know, what would you say to that person who is like, okay, I want to do this, I have talent, I've put in the work, but who am I to say charge for my work? Who am I to say my time, my effort, and my energy is worth the price?
I mean, that's be real. If it's your product, it's always worth price. You know, you can't have that mindset. Me personally feel like you can't have that mindset because I mean, at the end of the day, you could pay me, you could call me to cut your grass, I could cut it, and at the end of the day, it's still my time because of that. Look at it, you couldn't do it yourself, but you call me to do it.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? So you can't really have the mindset that, you know, who am I to charge you with? You know, you can't look at a Lil Wayne and say, oh, well, I ain't on that start on that level because at the end of the day, you yourself is your brand. You know what I'm saying?
And it goes way back into believing in yourself. You gotta first believe in yourself. If you believe you could be the next Michael Jackson, if no one believes that, you gotta believe that. And you gotta charge for your time. Plain and simple. It's your time, it's your art. So if you put that together and you believe in that, let's go with it.
You know, I'm glad you actually mentioned that because there's one thing we have inside the society we have to seriously look at when it comes to not just a matter of supporting our home, the fact that a foreigner will come in and say, okay, this is the price for something, bang, no problem. A Bohemian would say, okay, this is the price for something, and before that conversation is ended, if they haven't tried to bargain you down at least 40 to 50% of what you charge it, it's like we have the mindset with our own that we really have to look at that. If it's my one that mind, you might suggest slide this and make it free, but I can't live off free. I can't eat off free. I can't go to the bank and pay off free. If that was the case, I would be flying high.
To like carry that conversation even further, like in a room full of creative people, we're like, it's okay. In my job as a consultant, like you know, like foreign job as a consultant, right? It's like that's something that like that starts from the ground, go up. Like in the creative industry, like as K. Alexander, the producer or the stylist or the musician, like me up there, like creativity is something that comes from the sky, goes down. So like that's important because what you're all mentioning is something I'm always seeing with new artists, with whatever the artist, that like, you know, I have this nice painting right here and I want to hang it up on the wall in the museum and I want to sell it, but I don't want to charge $200 for it. Like, why the hell not?
And I think that comes back to one of the things we discussed last week about mentorship. The fact that once you're getting into a particular craft, no matter how good and how talented that you are, and I think you said the other aspect of it, you need to find a mentor that is first of all not stagnant, but somebody that is actively growing and moving forward themselves so that they can actually assist you. And a part of that is actually teaching you not just the craft, but also the business aspect of it so that you are comfortable saying to the person that this is my painting to develop, because you have to understand the value of what your craft actually is as well. Price tags. I didn't get a chance to ask you. What is price going to be like? Purchasers are interested in purchasing the music or downloading the music.
Well, you know, the standard price for anything on iTunes is really 99 cents. Now, the EP itself, when it comes out, it's going to be $9.99 on all the digital sites.
It's only 99 cents, so, you know.
Penny less than $10.
It's 99 cents, man. Hey, sure I don't get a dollar in their pocket. Right? Download double the download.
Well, guys, I definitely have to say that congrats on your singing, congrats on your EP, and keep doing the stuff that you're doing. Now, what are some of the future plans you guys got in place that you're looking at?
Boy, I ain't gonna lie. To start, we got so much plans, but to break them down for you right now.
Did you just throw me on? I heard. Did you have
I heard a
But we got like it was like, okay, let me start then I'm next off. Oh, 16, just that was a 16. That was one of the 15. That was 16.
We got this unspoken connection, you see, so we
But right now, like you said, the 26th is a big day, August 26th. Get that in your head. I Want to Feel It is going to be released on all the digital markets, all of them, all of the major ones. Just to name a few: Spotify, you get iTunes, you get Amazon, you get iHeartRadio, you get Pandora, Shazam, all of them. But like you said, what we got planned after that? We got a Christmas single coming out. We're going to go for that too.
We also have a podcast we're supposed to be doing with in January, putting our production skills to use. We also got second season. For those who don't know, we actually have an internet reality show called Journey in Which. So we got the second season coming in the following year next year. Like you said, we have a lot of things on the table right now.
Yeah, big of that all the time. That's what I'm talking about. 242 BBB, Big Better Boss. That's been copyrighted. It's not just something. First, just want to reach you or contact you, Anthony, actually, or follow you guys on Facebook.
New Age 242. You can also get us on Instagram, New Age 242, that's New Age TV, and on YouTube, same thing, New Age TV. You could even get us on Twitter at that too.
I am still my age show. I am going to say high five. What you laughing at?
High five.
I had a MySpace.
Hey, MySpace back in the day was the bomb.
Just to put it over there. Just to put it over there. When we were on MySpace, we were actually number 3 in the top 10 countdown around the world for music. So just to put it over there, MySpace. We can't get MySpace. MySpace showed us a lot of love when we were on MySpace.
A lot. Well, guys, we have a few more minutes. Any closing remarks you think you guys want to say before we go?
Where's this cutting your time? Sure,
Any closing remarks you think you guys want to say before you go? Because, definitely coming up next, we are going to have the Ideal Life with Leah, and you guys got to stay tuned. Start from 7 before we go, guys.
I'd just like to give a couple of shout outs to everybody, who's been supporting us, who's been riding with the New Age movement, and tell them that they should continue to, support us, and we thank you for the support.
Keep on supporting us. Just beginning.
my good quiet friend, go on ahead, man. What about you, man? And go on, closing remarks or comments to say before you go. Now, you still all man fella. You got it.
You want to run. Somalian.
I mean, I'd like to give a shout out for cousins, family. They know where y'all from.
You can say shout outs for other Jew dog.
Shout out to my mom, definitely.
Like I say, you get a lot coming out. I don't give too much away, but we get a lot coming out. Y'all you get surprised a lot.
Trust me.
Stay down with that. Now, Alan Good. You ready to get this one in the corner here on it?
You ready?
I will hear him crying and going here after that. Oh, you were polite. Oh, you were sure. I don't be I going to cry. You know what I mean? You know, see, look at that. They're walking ready to fall apart.
No,
You
I
need a
started.
wow. You don't even need a sound. I just need a wow. Turn it just a little bit out there. Yeah. Okay. This one just for you, okay? You sure? You ready? Okay. Old side. I say a hip, a hop, a hip to the hop. 242 in Bahamas, no, we never stop. Changing the mindset on the air. But everything is on right here. Hope you understand when I let these lyrics flow. Everything just flares. Like BPL, never me. I always like, don't you see? Daddy keeps on the mic, no, I'm just gonna let it fire and electricity. Why? Because I'm the man that makes it smooth in everything I do. Soothing to the beat, just like the 242 skill I use. My voice inside the studio. They know me, that's a fact. Because I'm just a show Mac on this track, never stack. You wanna ride with me, you gotta know my way and G. And changing the mindset, we gonna change the word we see. 242, take it to the sky and universe and understand I'm the best, I'm the blow, I'm the worst. Now, come for me if you don't know me.
Come on.
Come for me if you don't know me, brother.
I have a newfound respect for you.
Shut him off.
Changing mindset.
All the time. You closing remarks now?
Let's do it.
Closing remarks. Don't come for me left and Respect. But yes, I actually do not have a coach for the day, so you know, if you want to change the world, gotta start with changing your mindset.
You're trying to think, but it's right. But nonetheless, my beautiful behemoths, you know, definitely we're going to be here next week, still continuing our same topic. And please be careful on Monday when we have the eclipse going on. No, it's not the end of the world. It's not Independence Day, but still, nonetheless, be careful. Do not look directly up into the sun. We don't have a bunch of people walking around blind over the place. You know, sometimes I think that's the case already. But nonetheless, you know, we love the Bahamas. We out of here. And of course, I leave you these words every week. Stolen. If you want to change reality, Bahamas, my beautiful world, you got to begin with changing your mindset. Have a beautiful Saturday. We out.
Appreciate it so much. Thank you for all the love you've been showing.
Baby girl, it's kinda hard right now. It's kinda hard for me to watch your man treat you like a psycho. Your relationship is going round and around. Shawty, I just can't understand, but I can tell by the way that you look in your eye. You need a Mr. Like Swole.